What's going on, y'all? This is the Club WAM Podcast. I am none other than your host, Hodge, and I got my homies, Brandon. Say what's up to the people.
What up?
And my boy, Ant. Say what up to the people, Ant.
What's up, people?
All right, so in this podcast here, we gonna be talking about basketball from our perspective. So y'all gonna hear some funny, some hot takes. Y'all let us know what y'all think. But let's get going. Let's get straight into it. We ain't got time to play around. First, we're gonna talk about the NBA Finals, the preview, which is obviously the Celtics versus the Mavs. How did we get here, Brandon? Let's start with you. How did we get to this point?
I mean, the Celtics got a cakewalk of a playoffs. I mean, I've been saying all season, or it's all since KP got hurt, that they can win the East without him, and they just need him to win the finals. And I think that still rings true. Like, I mean, the Mavs are like they've formed themselves into like a championship like caliber team just in like the past few weeks. I say probably since the start of the playoffs. Like after that Clippers series, they locked in hard and they found out where people should be playing where. Like I think there were new starters. Like they decided who's playing and who's not. Some players came into their own. And then we ended up here. I mean, and Luka's they call him the Don for a reason. Like that's a bad man.
Same question, Ant. Celtics versus Mavs. How did we get here? How did we get to this point?
Well, I mean, looking at the East, they did what they were supposed to do. I mean, you can't help who's in front of you, but the crazy part about it is they only lost 2 games in the entire playoffs. So they really just handling business. As far as Dallas, it's like Brandon says, like them boys figured it out. Like they figured it out on the job. And it's a well-oiled machine going into these finals. So it's about to be a battle.
So, given that context, right? Are there some matchups that we should be paying attention to? And I mean, like, who y'all got? Like, start with who y'all got, and then lead into like some matchups to watch out for. Let's actually start with Ant this time. So go ahead with give us the matchups that we should be paying attention to, and then after, who you got,
I got Dallas, and my
and how
matchups
many
to
games?
watch, probably six. I think it's going to six. But I would say my matchups that I'm gonna be paying the most attention to for them playing is the Derek Lively KP because I think the way they use Derek Lively, if KP not like fully healthy, ready back to play, it may be a problem. Like they may have to play Al Horford instead of him because like they just the Dallas Mavericks just use him like perfectly. And then I would have to say after that would be the others because like I just feel like looking at the games and looking at the numbers, Jason Tatum and Luca have literally been playing up as the playoffs have like been going on. Both of them have been increasing their scoring, and the same thing with Kyrie and Jalen Brown. So it's just gonna come down to the others. It's like can Derek Jones and PJ Washington them do their job, or is Derek White and Drew gonna be too much?
Man, I honestly I wish they put Al Horford on the floor. Watch what happens.
If KP ain't healthy, they gonna have to.
I mean, I want to see 38-year-old Al Horford trying to keep up with Luca. That should be so. It just be funny. No, it just be funny
Yeah.
because that's what I'm saying. They need KP to win now. I don't even like from what I'm seeing. I just don't think they're even gonna put Lively on KP. I don't see any reason to, especially if he's not gonna be himself and he's not gonna be like banging down low. Just put PJ on him. That way, when they run that little pick and pop, he can get out there quicker, right? And then they put Lively, they keep him closer to the rim just so he can play like kind of free safety with same thing that got Rudy Gobert for his fourth defensive player of the year or
Right.
fourth one.
Banging down low is crazy, but I understand what you meant. We gonna keep it going. Like, that was so, are you saying? Well, first of all, Brandon, who you got, and then how many
Uh
games?
I don't. I mean, this is tough, man. I think I gotta wait to game
Nah,
one
you gotta
for
pick.
real.
Stand on business. Nope.
I mean,
No.
I'm gonna say Mavs in 7, just because I think like if it came down to like if it came down to it, I trust Luka and Kyrie more than I trust the Celtics because they stink. And they've been here, they've been in the same position 6 times in the last 8 to 10 years. And I honestly, until they show me and like actually go get over the hump, I don't trust them. And if that even rings true, they lost games to people to teams they shouldn't. Like Andrew Nembhard was giving them problems. I just thought like, yeah, replace him with Kyrie and see what happens. Like I don't know, I don't trust it. I think the Celtics are frauds. I think they're a good up 15 team, and I don't think they got what it takes in the fourth quarter. So if they're winning, they will probably win the game. I'll give that to them. If they're up 15, they will win. But if they're like, if it's a close game, I just don't trust. I don't want to get into it, but that man JT, it feels like
No, get
every
into it.
no, like every
Get
it'll
into
be
it.
like, okay, all right. It'll
Yeah,
be
get
like
into
17 seconds on the clock, right? They run their initial action, right? Ball comes back to him, 11 seconds on the clock. Tween, step back jumper contested, and he misses, and it happens way too much. Like I don't trust that to win the finals, and no one wins that. No one does that. It doesn't work. And I think
So,
Luka's the best player in the series. So
mm,
Mm.
mm.
is that a hot take?
I agree.
No,
I
no,
agree.
I don't think it's a hot
I
take at all.
maybe I agree.
Like what?
I think, yeah. Okay, so if you rank as far as the top four players, rank them in order, best players
Available in the playoffs or like
that
in
that are in the playoffs in this matchup. So if you take in the top four players, no matter what, regardless of team, who are the top four? Obviously, Luca's one, right? Then go from there.
uh I mean, I got Tatum at 2. I'm not gonna disrespect him like that. I actually got Kristaps as third because I think when he's like actually going,
Mm,
he's going. He's like their. I think he's the reason they win. They're so good.
hmm.
Like wings aside. And then I got
Super
I got
versatile, big man.
yeah, exactly. Like if you look at him play, he plays a lot like John Collins, which is crazy because he's 7'2". Um, and then they at what am I at 3 or 4?
That's
4 I
yeah.
got
You got one
Brown.
player left.
Yeah, Brown. I think the Celtics got 3 of the 4 best players in the series, but I don't think that matters because they stink. Again, sorry.
You got so you out of your top four, you don't got Kyrie in there in your top four.
No, I don't. I don't. I just because he's gonna be the shortest player on the floor. Um, and while he does play bigger than that, I think that actually matters. For sure, like that, he's gonna be guarded by everyone bigger than him. And I know Kyrie's gonna make it happen anyway, but that still means something. So like he ends up with the wrong matchup. That like I don't think he can stop Brown. Maybe once. I don't think he can stop Tatum. I mean, he probably can if he's taking step back threes, but you know, I just think with the size mismatch, like I think Brown's better than Kyrie, just straight up. And I don't think that like overall. I just think right now.
And you got anything to add to that?
Mm.
Your top
Uh,
four,
my
top four
my
players.
four is just I got Luca at 1.
Mm-hmm.
I got Kyrie and Jason Tatum tied. I feel like
Ooh,
I feel like they are just as impactful as each other on the floor. And then I got Jalen Brown,
at
which it
four.
low key
Okay.
should be Drew Holiday, but I just feel like I see why the Celtics play zone, and obviously it worked because they had the most wins in the NBA this season. But I feel like situational, like there are times when it's just like, man, if you look at who on the floor, you really don't gotta play zone sometimes.
Mm,
And like Brandon said, like that's one of the things where I feel like that would come in handy because the fortunate part about having Drew and Derek White both, I feel like they can force Kyrie to not hit a three. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
yeah.
hard for anybody to stop him from scoring, but I feel like those are two guys that it's like we can keep it under 40 because he hitting all middies versus we running the zone and he finding his spots and he get the rolling from three. It's like it might be a problem. But them the four I got.
So do you think that the Celtics can guard? Well, no, we hold on. Context,
Mhm.
right? Nobody in NBA can guard each other, right? Let's keep it 100.
Yeah,
Nobody
hell
can guard
no.
each other.
Hell yeah, no.
But
Not
do
one
you
on one.
think
Hell no.
that the Celtics? Do you think the Celtics defense? Granted, we just seen what the Dallas Mavericks just literally did to the
Yeah.
Minnesota Timberwolves. Do you think they'll be able to guard them? Is it gonna be a matchup problem? Like, how do y'all feel about that?
I, I mean, surprisingly enough, because of like the star power on the Mavs, I think it's kind of I think this is a pretty balanced series. I think a lot of people are looking at who the role players are for the Celtics and they're saying that they're better than the Mavs. And like on paper, like yeah, that's the thing about on paper is that like on paper, like the on paper champion is
It's
always
the
different
Celtics.
every year. Yeah, like I mean, if we were going on paper, of course, the Celtics were supposed to be here. So like, I mean, to me, it is it. I don't see them going up another gear higher than where they've been at. I don't think they've been tested at all. I think the Mavs have had a lot more adversity. So with when you got them now, like just kind of here stuck in the finals against a team that may potentially be better. I think they're so fired up that they don't care who's in front of him. I think Luka doesn't get Luka's not gonna care about who's
Yeah.
guarding him. Luka's not gonna care about who's saying what where. I think any type of trash talk pisses him off. He's gonna be a boss and he's not gonna care anything what he says. He's just gonna call him all MFers and keep it moving and then hit another step back three. So it's like, and your point about them taking Kyrie off the 3 point line, I agree. I mean, that's what the Timberwolves tried to do, and like Luka and Kyrie went crazy from the mid range, and I can see them doing the same thing against the ball against Boston, especially if they're running a 2-3. Yeah, go ahead, give them that top of the
Hmm.
key shot. That's exactly where they're trying to get to anyway. Um, I got yeah, good luck. That's how I feel about it. I just want to. I have to see it in action. I still like. I don't. I feel. It feels like I'm like kind of like looking down upon the Celtics. My thing is that they're supposed to be here, and I always root for the underdog anyway. Um, I don't. I have seen what their fans are saying about their coach. In that they don't know if he's tactically a good coach because he hasn't actually been tested to do so. Like last year, he lost like to the AFC Heat. And I know a lot of the other teams did, but like that's not supposed to happen. Then they
Keep
lost
it
the game
100.
to the Heat this year, and they
He got
lost the
out
game to the
coached.
Pacers. He got out coached, and like,
Yeah, keep it
is he
100.
No,
is he gonna?
they swept the Pacers. They swept the Pacers.
They swept the Pacers. Who
They
did they
lost.
lost to the
They
Cavs?
They
lost
lost
to
one game to the
They lo-
Cavs. They lost
yeah.
Yeah, but
game
then they
two.
lost two. Didn't he lose without? Mitchell wasn't even playing when they lost that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
They
lost
only
one
lost
game
two
to the
games.
Cavs.
Yeah.
They lost one game to the Cavs, and then they lost one game. Well, before that, they lost one game to
Lost
the
to
Heat. So
Miami.
they lost. Yeah, so that was the only two games they lost. They almost
I don't know,
lost
man.
two
That's not.
games.
Those are just. It's just telling, and I know it's two
Yeah.
losses, but it's telling. It's just more of the same to me. Where it's like they. It feels like they should be like winning every game because they have the four best players almost every like game, or
Yeah, this year, yeah, for sure.
Oh, did we lose Brandon? My fault, y'all. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. The Celtics media cut the B Rizzler out, so it's all good. They took him out the game. They said there will be no Celtic slander in the Club WAM. So they got but we good to go, man. So just to follow up and recap, Brandon, we looked up the matchup Celtics and Celtics Mavs like during the season when they played against each other during the season. The Celtics did win both of those games, and it looks like Jason Tatum for the most part was pretty dominant in both of those performances. So one game he had 39, other game he had 32. And
Yeah.
one game
They,
was they won by 9, the other game they smacked them. So
they
do you
definitely
think
don't
that
got
matters?
nobody to guard him.
Yeah.
I think the Mavs are a different team now. I guess that the last couple of weeks have shown me that they've locked into a different gear. So I'm gonna have to see again. Like I'm always skeptical of the Celtics just because every time you think they're gonna show up, they don't. And then like same thing with like I mean Tatum at that 50-point game against the Bucks in Game 7, but like I said, he has to show me. Um, and I just for one do not think there's ever going to be a game where Luka and Kyrie don't show up. And because of that, like I said, I got to see. Like I'm waiting to see. I don't want to I don't want to show too hard for the Mavs because I mean I'm not even a Mavs fan. I just see how locked in they are, and I genuinely think that unless Chris Stapps is there and he's playing like at his full potential, I just do not think that the Celtics have what it takes to win. And I'm still making it a game series too because I think they're that good. Um, is that I think they can beat the Mavs without him. I just think they need him to beat the Mavs. They just have to do everything right. So let's see.
Yeah.
It's just, you know what I mean?
They gotta do a lot of shit right.
Well, I mean, that's a perfect transition into the next topic. So this part is called "What Would Brandon Do?" I mean, of course, what would Ant do? But these are the coaching keys. So talk about what do the Celtics need to do to win from a coaching perspective? What are the adjustments that both teams should make if they want to win this series? Go ahead,
Hmm.
Brandon, or whichever one of y'all want to go first. Go ahead.
All right, you can go ahead.
Okay. I think if I'm Dallas, kind of. I think if I'm Dallas, the way I'm attacking it is probably attack Jason Tatum. Cause who is the Celtics running as their starting lineup first? I guess is my first question. Cause are
I
they
think it's
running Drew, Derek White, JB, JT, and
mm-hmm.
KP?
Yeah, that's their starting five.
All right. If they running that, I think my plan is to constantly attack Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum. It's just like you're not gonna be able to stop them scoring wise like often. Like it's not gonna you don't have anybody on the team to consistently like get perimeter stops on these guys. So you kind of got to go at them. You got to find a way to wear them down, keep them off the floor a little bit, try to get some fouls. That would be my angle as Dallas, because I just really see this whole thing probably being a shootout. And I would say the same thing for the Celtics. I would put Drew and I would put Derek White on Luca and Kyrie. I would make it as difficult as you possibly can on them. And on the other end, the one thing the Celtics got to do, which is the problem why Jason Tatum be taking those, like sometimes it's like he takes really difficult shots in the fourth, and it's like the reason why it looks so crazy is because nothing comes before it. Like there's no attempt to set up an easy basket, and then he takes the shot. It's like they just come down, give him the ball, and he takes the shot. It's like the in order for the Celtics to win this series, in order for the Celtics to win a ring, they're gonna have to get to the point of figuring out themselves on the floor when we get in a crunch where it's like they just came down and scored 3 times straight, we got to get a basket here. It's like they have to figure out a way to create easy baskets for either Jason Tatum or Jalen Brown. Or like Brandon said, if they have KP, it's much easier to get those types of baskets. If KP is playing at the level that KP is capable of playing at, if he's like really gets it going, then the Celtics are a problem because once you can get those easy baskets, it makes the tougher ones easy.
I would say for me, I mean, if the Celtics are playing that drive and kick game, I think the Mavs need to crowd whatever the ball handler after they get that last step towards the basket, and then make sure they're getting back out to their shooters. I mean, luckily enough, they got Derrick Jones Jr. who jumps out the gym. They got Exum, who's been his anticipation is pretty good. And then they got like a lot of their guards are just good at closing out. And I think that's why they've been able to like survive against like other teams and everything like that. Like, I mean, my whole thing is that unless your playmaking is at like a high enough level, I don't know if they're gonna find those passes out. Like we saw Anthony Edwards struggle to make that read. I mean he is 22, so I guess it's a little different. But I don't know where Tatum and Brown's their passing is at. I definitely think White and Holiday are both equipped to break down the Mavs defense. I think they both know they can both slice and kind of dice them up, but I don't think that they're either of those two are good enough to lead them If you're saying, oh, is the Derek White run offense going to be as good as a Luka or Kyrie ran one? No, it's not. So it will, like I said, if KP isn't there, they're just going to have to do it a lot harder too, because that second read isn't going to be there. Kristaps is the Celtics. That's their superpower. You can't contest his shot because he's too tall. He's probably their best shooter, uh, as well. Uh, I don't know what you do with them while he's out there, but if he's not playing like the full Chris Stapps experience, which is also putting the ball down and getting to the rim, like Jason Tatum should be, then I mean we're gonna see. I mean for like the Celtics, I think for them to slow them down, I think Tatum needs to guard Kyrie, needs to guard Luka straight up. I don't think anyone else can do it. I think everyone else is too small. The only players that can keep up with Luka are like 6'10" forwards who are athletic. Because like I think like the best Luka defender I think out there is still Ben Simmons, and it's just because he's so big and athletic that like he can match Luka's speed. He's also fast enough to keep up. I mean, back injury regardless. Every time he plays against Ben Simmons, like the box scores speak for themselves. Um, so I think that Tatum needs to try to recreate that. I think that if you're trying to put Drew Holiday or Derek White on Luka, it's not going to look right. It's going to look exactly how when they played the Clippers a few years ago and he was bodying Patrick Beverly. I think we're gonna have to see because Luka's 6'8" and fat. So like I just don't think that any small players can. I don't think they can stop him. I don't think he is. I don't think he's someone that can be stopped by a small guard. I think you're gonna have to put
No,
bigger players on him.
he's definitely not a small guard at all.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's this is so much to unpack. So, are you saying that Ben Simmons is the Luca stopper?
No, there's no Lucas stopper. Like
Okay,
there's no Lucas stopper.
especially because Ben Simmons is like Mike Jones. Who?
Yeah.
Like, when the next time we gonna see Ben Simmons on energy, like
We,
actually hooping for more
we
than
we don't
You
know.
know
5
what's
games?
you know what's funny though about the Ben Simmons thing? If he was like playing to his level, he would fit really well on either one of these teams.
Man, you can't get the Celtics. We can't keep giving the Celtics fucking infinity rings, dude.
No, I ain't
Yeah,
giving no, and I ain't
okay.
giving nobody nothing. I'm saying like it's
Celtics
funny
are
'cause you look at
Thanos.
it because it's like not just even replace somebody, not even take them. Just like say Dallas had got him instead of PJ. And PJ's amazing. Like this man's been, and that's another thing that I think people are gonna have to watch out for this series. PJ Washington got a torch out of nowhere. I don't know if he always been shooting like this in Charlotte, but
Nah.
throughout the playoffs, he's had like he been letting that motherfucker go, and he been hitting them. He been hitting a lot of threes. So that's kind of something to watch out for, cause he a part of the others where it's just like, yo, if he get it going, like, it's gonna be
Mhm.
a problem, cause Luke and Kyrie still gonna have they 25, 30. And that man come down and give him 5, 6, 7 threes. Those are tough games to win.
So, I mean, the beautiful thing about being in a playoff role, right, is opportunity. Um, Whereas like PJ Washington, like Charlotte's, they're a bad team. They got some good players over there, couple good players, but it's a bad team as a whole. Charlotte, since at least since I've been watching basketball, they've probably been good maybe like 2 years. Like they had that one Kimba year. They had the they had the Gerald Wallace when they had all of them. They had one good year then, but other than that, they've been terrible. They've been one of the
The
worst
Al
teams in the league.
Jefferson
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Al
other than that,
Jefferson HC year where they gave them a whole segment on NBA TV for making it to the eighth seed.
yeah,
So
yeah, and then
everybody
they got
knew.
sweat. They
Yep.
literally. But that's the thing though. Is like that's the only thing they have to brag about is that they got to the AC one time. Like other than that, like they haven't done anything. But then you take some of those players Take
One
them.
of them other places.
Look, we not hating on Charlotte. We just talking about team in
Yeah,
itself, right?
just
The
the
team,
history of what's going on.
the history of the team. We only talking about the facts, and the facts of the matter is that historically the Charlotte team has not been good. That's the truth. They've been terrible. I think terrible is probably an understatement, but that's where we're gonna use terrible,
Yeah,
or in the words of Charles Barkley, terrible,
terrible.
terrible. Um, but yeah, you put PJ Washington in a situation where now he's playing with better players. You know, he gets wide open shots, and then he's gonna play harder on defense.
Yeah,
So
I
there you
think
go.
yeah, that
yeah,
chaos over and that chaos in Charlotte just like about like they think about it, they get a new coach every year. LaMelo
yeah.
barely plays. Like I mean, it looks like Brandon Miller's a pretty. It looks like he's gonna be a pretty big culture shifter. I mean, I don't necessarily like the key. They brought back Miles Bridges for like okay. Uh, so I don't. I mean, well, I don't know where they're trying to steer their team. They just grab all these like these nice like they grab these nice shooting guards out of the draft, right? Like Nick
Like
Smith
Malik
Jr.,
Monk.
Malik Monk. Who else? Who got arrested? It was the one that got arrested this past year. Uh
Uh,
Book Knight. Like
oh yeah,
nice
yeah,
players. Yeah,
yeah,
nice players. Like,
Yeah,
and then it's like after they don't develop them. Like think about it. Malik Monk was there for what, 4 years, 5 years, and didn't do anything until he left.
yeah.
I think
yeah,
he had like
Lamelo should be better than what he is too.
I think
Honestly,
he's just as hurt. He's so hurt all the time. I don't get it because I don't know if it's his shoes, but he constantly has ankle issues. It's weird. And like people are like, oh, they should move him. I don't see any point in moving Lamelo, but I definitely don't think he should be guarding point guards here on out. I
no,
don't know if it'll be.
definitely.
I think they need to go in. I think they need to rethink how they're going to build that team out. Um, because right as of right now, they just kind of got players. Um, and it doesn't make any sense outside of that.
Yeah, because low key with the right coach, I feel like before the PJ trade, I don't know. I don't
yeah.
know. It's like you feel like they should be good. It's like LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, PJ Washington. It's like they got Marvin Williams. Marvin Williams is a solid center. Like he was getting a little better at the end of his rookie year, and it's just like you should have like I guess it's the same thing as the Detroit situation. It's like they
Yeah,
have
probably on
pieces that
Detroit.
that should be able to win games, and they're just like not. Because like, even when you look at Detroit, it's like, bro, you got Cade, the Thompson twin, Jaden Ivey playing, Jalen Duran is a solid center. It's like that team and that record don't make sense. It's like, what be going on these teams?
I'm glad we talking about these teams, right? Because y'all both mentioned like these teams, they're terrible. But to transition it back to, talking about the Celtics and the Mavs, right? Brandon, you keep saying the Celtics stink. What do you mean by that? In my Drewski voice, what do you mean by that? What are you talking
Wait.
about?
I actually I got one quick point on the Pistons. There's a 27-minute montage of Jalen Duran playing bad defense. I just gotta say that. But um, the
Shout out to
stink,
Jalen Duran.
Right.
the stink that I'm talking about. You know how there's some people can't get over the edge. Like it's like okay when it's time. Like they're front. Like I'm not gonna call them front runners, but they don't like if there's like you get close to it and you constantly lose, it's to the point where it feels like you can't get over that until like I feel like unless it breaks it all even for you, you're not gonna win. Like there's those like ethical championships like the Pistons and the Mavs in 2011 and everything like that, where they grinded hard, came together as a team and won it. And they got over it. And then there's like what the Celtics are walking into, where everyone all the star players for every team that they played leading up to this point have been hurt. With the Celtics, I feel like they've
Like the
been the
Nets.
best team in the East for like 4 years on paper. Again, on paper, that word on paper keeps coming back. And
Mhm.
then they keep losing to teams who test their gangster. Like, think about it. The Heat consistently come in there and they punch him in the mouth and they keep these games close, but they don't need it. Shouldn't be that close. That team last season had no business beating the Celtics, no business at all beating us. The team that they lost to, or that they dang near lost to, and or even no, sorry, when they lost to the Warriors, they were up 2-1 on them, and then the Warriors just ran it back. Like that's what I'm talking about. Some play, like even like another example, like Booker's been out in the first round for the last 2 seasons, or even that bad loss against the Mavs. Some
Yeah.
players just they get that like bad luck charm on them. Like so when I call it a stink, it's like it's not a bad thing. It's just it's like some players gotta like it has to like break even for them. Like otherwise they're not gonna get it. They have to get lucky. While I know everyone else does, I don't think hard work can beat this stink. I just think that it's I don't think hard work can. It's like getting sprayed by a skunk, dog. You're gonna have to sit in that bathtub with some tomato juice for a couple hours, bro. Like it's not going away unless you make a drastic change or just there's a culture shift or something like that. So I'm curious. Like to me, I still see it on the Celtics. They got rid of Marcus Smart, which I don't think he was any of their issues. I think a lot of it comes down to I don't think that the star players on the Celtics are assertive enough. And when it comes down to it, I just don't. I
Mhm.
it's like there'll be like too many times. It'll be like 3 or 4 minutes. It's just bad three after bad three, and I keep going back to like these bad threes. It's because they shoot them so early in the shot clock. They shoot a
Mhm.
million of them. I know they're playing the Mav game. It honestly feels like they're trying to replicate what the Heat did back in 2020, where they just like hit all of their threes, but they got a bunch of star players who are the ones making those reads, which that's a good model to follow, but they haven't won with it. Um, they just haven't. I don't know. I have they're a wait they're a team where I won't believe it until I see it. It's very similar to the Clippers back in 2015. It's very similar to those Cavs teams. And even to those like, but I would say those Pistons teams from '05 to '08 who kept going getting to the conference finals, but they won a title in '04. So it's like they got to wash themselves of their stink. They sat in the tomato juice uh to get that off of them.
And do you have more to add or
Uh,
to
yeah,
the stink? To
I
the
definitely
stink.
see the stink on the Suns. I ain't even gonna hold you, cause like I just, I I just feel like it's so many moving parts to like a coaching staff and how an offense is run and all that stuff. And you just look at all the tools they had. It's just like you have Devin Booker, you have Bradley Beal, you have Kevin Durant. Yusuf Nurkic is a solid center. You had Eric Gordon coming off the bench. You got uh, Grayson Allen coming off the bench. Amazing 3-point shooters. And it's just like, how do y'all not figure that out? How do y'all go all season, get to the playoffs, and y'all literally lost because y'all couldn't figure out how to work together as a unit? And it's just like, it's weird. With Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, like how? That's like some my team shit. Like this is a team you never thought would even exist. Like these are two of the craziest scorers to ever play in the NBA, and that's not what we saw. This is not what we saw. Like
Yes,
Devin Booker has scored 80 before. Like
yeah, we will be able to take some time to elaborate on the Suns, but what do y'all think a ring just transitioning a little bit, but what do y'all think a ring means for the stars on the respective teams? So what does a ring mean for Tatum and Brown? Does it get the stink off of them? And what about Luca and
Yeah.
Kyrie? Does it change? Does it change their narratives? Like, what does the ring mean for either one of them? Brandon, let's start with you.
Yeah, I mean, a title for Tatum and Brown, like that's. I mean, it'd be a long, hard fought road for them up to this point after like not winning for the last 8 years. But yeah, that does wash some of that stink. Like they made it happen. They got over that hump. I think for Luca and Kyrie, I think that he's put into a different conversation in terms of like number twos. like sidekicks. I don't think Kyrie's a sidekick, like per se, but I think he works really well with other stars. And I think that fixes a lot of his image in that regard. Um, his image is already kind of being fixed just by getting here. I think even
Hmm.
if they get like even if they lose in like 6 or 7, I still think Kyrie's like kind of repaired his image as a basketball player. I don't know about like him as a man. I haven't looked into that. I only know about I only care about him on the court. But it seems like he's going to be reevaluated in where he sits. I feel like they there's been like a conversation around him like saying like he's a bad teammate because he switched teams and like on the Celtics and everything like that. But it just looked like he changed his mind, which we can do. Like, I mean, I every time I start a new job, I'm like, damn, I could be here for a long time. And then like 6 months later, I'm already ready to go. Like, I just feel like that's exactly what happened with Kyrie and the Celtics. Like, think about it. You go to
I
court.
feel
The
that.
Celtics feel like corporate America, yo. Just think about the people that work in that office. I'm good on that. Like,
Yeah,
then
for
he comes to
much reason.
Dallas and like you got Lucas drinking beers in the room in the locker room and smoking hookah in the off season. Absolutely, these guys are great. Like I would do that. I would feel the same. And then for Luca, I think he brings him up a level. Like straight up, a ring right now for Luca. I don't know. There's some people saying that like that historically they're putting them in certain camps. I don't do that. I don't feel like you can't currently rank players whose careers aren't over with. Unless they're like on this better half of it, or sorry, the latter half of it. Like, I mean, you could judge LeBron's career by this point because he's almost done. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think you can judge Anthony Edwards' career yet because it's just starting. Like, I just
Yeah.
think we gotta wait and see more accomplishments. I mean, it does set another precedence for American basketball though, because this is gonna be the third title in 5 years that was won by a Euro. So it's gonna be like I think there's going to be some conversations to be had too, and then to see if he follows this up with an Olympic gold ring. This is going to be the best season anyone's had in a long time.
Yeah. I think to piggyback off the Kyrie thing, I think the way I feel about it is him getting the ring in this situation, it puts him in that 1A 1B category where it's like you probably like him by himself as your one is difficult. But when you got him and another one, that shit's starting to look real high percentage. Cause part of the reason why I feel like the Celtics thing didn't work out was the Gordon Hayward injury. Because they had got the Gordon Hayward coming straight out the Utah Jazz, and Gordon Hayward was a monster. So him, Kyrie, and like that team was gonna be very hard to beat. But injuries happen, stories change. For Luca, I feel like this ring solidifies him as a superstar. Like he is a superstar, but it's like him getting the ring is like it ain't even up for discussion no more. And Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, they kind of need it because I feel
I
like
agree with you.
I personally would not ever split them up. I would do like Brandon said, like I would just sit with this. Like I'd just take my lumps because I feel like those two guys and the talents they have at the positions they are at is very hard to come by at the same time. So I'm just personally I wouldn't. But I feel like if they lose, they're gonna split them up. So it's like they kind of need it because if they win this, them two staying together, their careers are going to be crazy because they play very well together. But I feel like split up, Jason Tatum's still gonna be a monster, but I feel like Jalen Brown might slow him up a little bit. So they
Yeah,
definitely need this ring.
yeah.
So
It'd be
basically,
crazy if they lost. It'd be
Yeah.
crazy if the
so
Celtics lose. Oh my god,
I guess they're gonna sit in the tomato juice for I,
you
I
can't.
don't
Ain't no
know.
tomato juice. You send in more fucking skunk piss. So it's like that's it.
Ah,
They say it like
They yeah,
you
and they,
can't
bruh.
call yourself you. They have to. They gotta break it up. Everything gotta go. They
So this
can't keep
is
this team around if they lose it
Gave up
like this.
Marcus Smart for a
that's a great point.
champion.
So
It's
if they
like
lose, so so obvious, right? We're talking about if the Celtics lose, which is the next topic, right? If the Celtics lose, and y'all touched on it a little bit. Pause. What does a
They
finals loss mean for the respective teams? What is what is the what does a Celtics loss mean for them, and what does it mean if the Mavericks lose?
I mean, the Mags have nothing to lose right now. They lose, it doesn't matter. They got there. They shouldn't have been there. No one thought they were getting there to begin with.
yeah,
And
they'll be
then
one of them teams that got time to go to the drawing board.
exactly. I mean, this is only a year. What, Derek Lively's 18. Like they're fine. Uh, the Celtics though, I don't think they can take a loss like that. I genuinely don't think they could take another finals loss and come back the same. I think Horford is out after the season. I have a feeling that he's going to retire as season's in. I don't know what I don't know if he still has his contract through the next couple of years, but they already re-signed Drew. They haven't re-signed Derek Brown. You're gonna have to re-sign Jason Tatum in like 2 years, I believe. But they just gave Brown that massive contract. I don't know what a Celtics like our Celtics rebrand looks like without getting rid of at least two of those three players. But I don't. I also
Hmm.
can say, hey, like if we just, I can also see them saying, hey, if we just move Brown and fill out the bench, and, I mean, grab another backup big or something like that, and grab some young wings. I mean, maybe they can get back there with some more time, but maybe put Jason Tatum back to the three and get a real four or something. I don't know. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't even want to I don't want to take that. I don't want to act like they will. They should win this series. Like straight up, they should win this series.
Go ahead, and same thing. What does a loss mean for either team?
Uh, bullshit. Yeah, for the Celtics, it's scary. Them losing is scary because it could be anything. It could be team getting blown up. It could be just JB. It could be, it could be decisions that end up making the team worse. It's scary for the Celtics over there if they lose. But yeah, Dallas, they kind of you in a situation where you got PJ halfway through the season. That's just so happened to be working out. But it's like I'm pretty sure they'll be able to polish that up using him better. Derek Lively is he's gonna mature. He's gonna keep getting better. Like Brandon said, like he like 18, like he a rookie. So it's like he's gonna keep getting better. Luca don't seem like he's slowing down no time soon. And I mean, Kyrie he gonna be Kyrie. So it's just like that type of team only like they have a very positive after this, no matter which way it goes. Like win or lose, it's just like they have a positive path coming out of this regardless.
Wait, I got a question. Y'all think the Mavs would have beat the Nuggets?
I mean, what do you
Huh.
think? That's between y'all.
I don't know.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like yeah.
The NBA media seems to think that the Nuggets, as a collective, from everything that I've seen, the media believes that the Nuggets would have beaten the Mavericks easily.
Mm.
Easily. That's
I
crazy.
think
Easily.
that them
That's
games would have
that's
been
what I've heard.
close.
Consensus is that
Easily is
they
crazy.
would have beaten them easily. Like they made it seem like it wouldn't have even been a challenge. I don't see what world they living in, um, because I mean the same issues posed almost no matter, like, damn near any team. No team can guard Luca, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, he's a
who
he's
has
a
the
problem
matchup for
for him.
Luca, and the Nuggets do not have the matchup for Luca. They barely had the matchup for Anthony Edwards. So
Shit, they
like
did.
somebody who has better ball handling, better decision making. He's going to pull up for a mid range every time if you run drop coverage, which the Nuggets run a drop coverage on defense because Jokic sits in the paint. I don't see a world where um, they could guard them. I don't see it. But the NBA, the old media, new media, no matter which I've seen, they said that the Nuggets would have beaten the Dallas Mavericks easily, like with no issue. So I don't know.
Dallas
I think
easily.
that series would have been
Crazy.
Easily.
close. I think it
Easily
would
is
have
a
been
wild
close,
thing
but
to say.
like just like you saying, it's like it's the Luka Jokic thing. It's like I don't see how either side stops either guy. But in that same token, Jamal Murray is literally got to go against Luka and Kyrie.
I would
like
say
it,
that
like Jokic got Derek Lively, but like man, it's gonna be rough on Jamal Murray. That's gonna be a
I
rough
would say
series on
that
Jamal Murray.
Jokic probably would have destroyed any center on him.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
Yeah,
he would
yeah,
have
for
just,
sure,
I
for
don't
sure,
think you could put an 18-year-old
for sure.
on
no. Or Daniel
Nah, he
Gafford, he's
nah.
too short. Daniel Gafford's
Yeah,
like
but
6'8".
that's what I'm saying. It's like that's why I was like that shit would have been close because it's like there's no answer for either one of those players. So
Yeah,
this just comes down to just where the chips fall.
yeah.
It's crazy that they were able to get it done against Rudy Gobert. I don't know that Timberwolves team. It seems like they were just made to beat the Nuggets, and they thought like
Yeah.
because I saw media saying that they thought that was the NBA Finals, like that those two playing against each other.
Yeah, like if they could beat the
And
Nuggets, they could beat anybody type deal.
yeah, and then when I thought about it, when it came like okay, yeah, they can bully Murray and all that, and then we saw them try to bully Luka and Kyrie. It just did not work out for them. So I mean, even then for them, I don't even know where they go from here. Like I think they just run it back with everybody.
Yeah, for
Honestly, I
real.
might
Well,
as well.
it's a styles makes fights things, right? So that's the thing that watching basketball, watching the playoffs, it's literally all about who matches up with who, right? Um, it just depends on like because some people feel like if the teams would have been um mixed up in the standings, we would have got a different result as to who's in the finals right now. Some people feel like, if you shuffle and you put if Dallas, say for example, if the Clippers would have played anybody except for Dallas, they would probably have gotten to the Western Conference Finals. If you put the Lakers, if they didn't have to play Denver first, people feel like they would have got to the Western Conference Finals. If you would have if you would have switched it up, that's the thing, right? It's about matchups. I
Yeah,
agree, right? That Dallas, 100%, like not Dallas, sorry, Minnesota was designed to beat Denver because they won the championship last, right?
for sure.
That makes
No,
sense.
for
They were
sure.
100% designed to beat Denver, but they were not designed to beat the Dallas Mavericks, who any team. This is what I always say, right? And then we're at as we're at rolling out the end of the pod. This is what I will say: any team that has an elite mid-range jump shooter, that is going to be the hardest team to guard. The thing about the Mavericks, they have two. So
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
so good luck, especially if you have a center who is or someone at the five who is
Hey,
like not
Luka touched
athletic
on one.
enough or just wants
Can't
to sit in
run
the
that
paint,
drop
you're gonna
coverage.
get torched. You're gonna
Can't
get
run
torched.
that drop coverage on the Mavs
Can't,
because that's just how they
cannot run.
beat the. That's just how they beat the Timberwolves.
You
You cannot
cannot
run
run
drop.
drop coverage on them. You
I
cannot.
think it's
And
crazy
unfortunately,
that people be running that if these people played these people narrative stuff because it's like, bro, it's always been
yeah,
like this. First,
yeah,
Sure.
first of all,
yeah.
but if we go in there, the East would look completely different if a lot of shit was different.
Facts.
Shit, what if everybody was healthy? Indiana would have went home first round. New York Knicks fuck around be in the finals, like cause bro, you know what you know why the only reason why I say the Knicks, you know who I forgot is on that team that's been hurt all season,
Julius Randle.
Bogdanovich.
Oh yeah.
No, he played.
They
Did
got
he
a
play?
whole long range
Yeah.
assassin on
Got
that
hurt.
team. Ain't play a playoff game for them. Y'all had a hard time guarding DiVincenzo and Jalen Brunson. Now with him on the floor and man, look. So it's crazy if people say that in to attack Dallas, but the East would have been entirely different. A lot of different ways. It's like, bro, the Celtics mess around. Not even. I mean, we all know how the Celtics Miami stuff be going down. If Jimmy was playing, he might be right. If he was playing, they might be at the crib. So I
Yeah, I
mean,
think I mean I thought that he could have beat the Celtics straight up. I thought they could have. Like, and
Yeah,
I only thought that
it's
because
the Jalen Brown Jimmy matchup. Jalen Brown just out, man. Jimmy be making it personal, and he be outdoing him the entire game.
and Drew Holiday on that team too, and he doesn't like Drew Holiday either. I don't
That's
know.
funny.
But I mean, shout out to Alpha Coach who's been calling out drop coverage and how stupid it is all season. So uh I
Yo,
mean, we're watching it. We watched it. We watched the ultimate drop coverage team get decimated uh by a fat Slovenian. So
Yeah.
that's where we're at.
Well, you already know everybody been running it because of all that small ball nonsense. Like it's fine when you got a shooting four, you running it on, and he get caught and dropped, and yeah, it's like whatever. But that
yeah,
shit don't work now. That shit don't work when people got a legit option. It's like, yeah,
I
I
mean, he
got
got.
Derek, I got Aaron Gordon, I got Derek Lively. Like you got a legit lob option, legit like next to the rim. It's like, all right, man, do what you want.
I mean,
yeah,
this is why I'm struggling to see how the Celtics even guard the Mavs and like because you can't double Luca, you can't double him. Like
Cannot at all.
you can't. He can make every pass, and he can make every
Yeah.
pass on the move. He can make it with his left, right. He's I mean, he got every angle. He knows how to do all of it.
PJ
Um,
hitting shots, Derek hitting
yeah,
shots,
that's what I'm
Kyrie
saying. If
hitting
they're
shots,
smacking
Tim
up 2 or
Hardaway
3,
hitting shots, Greg Hardy hitting shots, Dante Exum hitting shots. It's like, hey, bro.
so it sound like both of y'all got Dallas, right? So
no,
you
I got
Yeah,
the
wait,
Celtics
I
because they
got
should
Dallas.
win.
okay, okay. So wait, Brandon, you got Dallas winning, or do you have the Celtics?
I think the Celtics should win.
No,
I think the
not
Celtics
who
should
should
win.
win. Who you got? Lock it.
Man,
Lock it. I need you to lock it
You
because it
gotta
don't.
pick one.
You saying the
You gotta
Celtics
pick
should win,
one.
but it sounds like you saying Dallas. Look, lock it.
I'm saying I
No,
can't make a
lock
prediction
it.
on that, man.
No,
You gotta
no,
pick
Yeah,
lock
one.
it.
because
You gotta
I
pick
Lock
think
it.
one.
Luke, I mean, I think
No,
Luka's a
wait.
killer, and I think that he like I'm finding every reason to believe that the Mavs can win,
So lock it. Lock Dallas.
Man, go with your man's.
but it's real hard to bet like it's real
Look,
hard to bet against the
look.
Celtics. It's real hard.
Context, right? Context for everybody watching. When Luca came in the league, Brandon was the biggest Luca fan. Like
He
he was,
called that shit.
I did
I
not
know
believe in
you
Luca.
bought it
He
I was like,
called
bro,
that shit.
he's too big,
for 3
he's too
years before
fat,
he
he's
even
too slow. I'm like, there's no way. And he called it. He was like, no, he's going to be a superstar. He's gonna be one of the best players in the league. He's gonna win an MVP, even though he has not won an MVP yet. He probably should have won it this year. Um,
Probably gonna win. He gonna win one.
he'll probably win it next year. I'm gonna be honest. I guarantee you, Luca will probably win MVP next year. Y'all can lock that. But yeah, Brandon, pick lock with Luca. Look, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I say I got the Celtics. We could make a little friendly bet right now.
no, I think I'm
I
gonna
ain't
pick the
putting no
Celtics,
money on
dude.
Boston.
And I'm only and like I don't want to bet. I'm not putting money on Boston. I'll put some Monopoly money on
No
them,
money. No, no money.
Right.
but
No money. No money. No.
I'll put
Okay. Let's make it spicy. Let's make it spicy. And I'm not saying that in a metaphorical sense. I'm saying this in a literal sense. Let's
I
make it
knew it.
spicy. The loser of this, whoever makes the bet, whichever team y'all pick, whichever, it don't matter if they win at 5, 6, 7. If you pick the Celtics or Dallas or whatever, loser has to take a shot of Kraken on the as soon as they lose, the next pod. Gotta take the shot of Kraken for everybody to
so
see.
are we predicting per game
No,
or
just
okay?
just I mean, unless y'all want to,
Mm.
but the prediction, yeah, yeah. If y'all picking the same team, then it's on a per game basis. But if y'all picking opposite teams, then the winner is good.
And
Loser
we
got to
do
drink
per
Kraken.
we do
Lock it.
per
I'm
game.
not
We
I
do per
I
game.
can't.
First game, I got Dallas.
Yeah, game one I got. Uh,
All right, look. All right,
but I
cool.
think and
I
then
got the
also
Celtics.
I've just talked myself completely out of ever choosing the Celtics because I
I got
forget
the
that
yeah.
they stink. So
That's funny. You said
like,
they got the stink. They got all these things wrong, but I got the Celtics. That's hilarious.
yeah.
Hey, look, I'll play devil's advocate with y'all just to make it spicy. I got the Celtics straight up, straight up. Anybody want to take that Kraken bet?
I'll take it.
Bet
Yeah,
locked. So you got Dallas.
Yeah.
I'll take
Brandon,
yeah,
you
I'll
got
take this.
Dallas.
Yeah.
I bet it's
Yeah.
locked. You know what?
You know
I'll
what?
make
Matter
it.
of fact, yeah, I'll
I'll
take
take
as many
two.
shots as it takes them to win games too. How about that?
Locked. Bet. I got Celtics straight up. It's locked.
Good.
No, no. It's locked. It's locked. I
I
got
bet.
Dallas. And look, I'll make it spicy. If Dallas wins the series, I'll take two shots because y'all both got Dallas. Locked.
Bet.
It's
Bad.
locked. It's locked. It's super locked. All right, Celtics, don't let me down. Well, I will say that to say, man, hey, y'all, no Kyrie slander. We not standing for no Kyrie slander over here. Kyrie is an amazing basketball player. Um, couple other things. Jalen Durant. Hey, if you really got that,
There's a 27-minute
Bro, I
long
gotta
video
watch that now.
of Jalen
hey,
Duran playing bad deep. Bro, they'll be coming over the pick and Duran just be standing there, hands at his side, and they'll walk to the rim. And I'm like, okay, so that's why they were losing. I was
uh,
wondering because if you play 2K, like the the
Right?
the
yo,
Pistons, the
he's 7
Pistons,
foot.
the Pistons don't ever re-sign him. And I always wonder why. It's because his defense sucks. Like that makes sense. Like, yeah, he
Oh, man.
athletic and he can grab rebounds and dunk it.
Yo, I'm
Sucks on
weak.
defense. That's
I'm
crazy.
crying right now. That's crazy as hell. But yeah, man. All right, so we locked. So we got it locked right here. Signed, stamp, seal, deliver. I got the Celtics. Don't let me down, because otherwise I'm taking a double. If I would even go as far just for the count. I would even go as far be like, look, I'll go find some Malort. I just don't know if I can find some.
No, we can
Cra-
make that happen.
And I
No,
and I
crazy
and
random.
I
no,
I
I'll
can't
mail you a,
stand
little
Malort.
six pack of the bottles.
I can't.
Got you.
Yo, that is the most. That's worse than cracking to me. That's. Look. We believe in Jason Tatum, but yeah, man. That's
Cra-
that's all we got for today, man. Appreciate y'all for watching, for tuning in. Y'all will see us next week. Let us know in the comment section what y'all think. Predictions. Tell us what y'all think about Jalen.
Yeah,
Durant
tell
in
us what
the
y'all think
same-
about Jalen
Hey,
Durant.
at the
Yo,
end of the
yo,
day,
like,
I ain't even
I'm
mad.
only talking about the
shout out to
basketball
Jalen
player
Durant.
and not the man. When I talk about these takes, so when I say the
Hey,
Celtics stink, I'm talking about them as a basketball team and not them
hey,
as people.
yeah. Do the Celtics stink? How y'all feel about the stink? And what do the Celtics got to do to get the tomato juice off of them, or sit in the tomato
Right.
juice? What is their tomato juice? What is their recipe for success? Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Go in the info, the chat bars, all that stuff, man. Go follow us on the socials. We got big stuff coming, man. We out of here. Peace.